So take a look at the chances to finish in the top 5. Chelsea currently sitting 6th in the table. But let's focus on what Enzo Maresca said, shall we? As Mario's with us, as is Jules. Mario, what do you make of that? He's kind of calling out the fans a little bit there, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I think, he's trying to get them behind him, of course, and I understand that. When you go at the bridge, English football is based on that. When you get your own fans behind you, it gives you that extra momentum. But you always got to be careful, eh? When you call them out, you understand, there are moments that they might, let themselves hear too. So you have to be careful. And in the way that Chelsea started the game, they were going forward, and they were trying. But the thing is that you concede 2 goals. And if you look at the way they conceded them, no, you cannot. Cucurella made 2 mistakes. You understand? The first one and the second. He scores the other goal, but just overall, you see, just as a team, I feel like sometimes I ask myself, who's leading that team? That's the biggest question for Chelsea at the moment. Who is really the leader? I'm not talking about the one that's wearing the armband, but who are the other ones? You understand? Because in the teams that when you played there, we didn't have that. We didn't have to look like who's going to have a go at you when you make a mistake. I'm asking myself, who's doing that now?
A dangerous game to play, isn't it? Calling out the fans.
He's forgetting one thing. One very important thing. He's talking about the atmosphere that the fans were creating. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the team that's created that atmosphere. It's not the fans that have created it. What you do on the field creates an atmosphere in the stadium. And it's not just about that one game. What they've been doing at home, particularly recently, since Christmas probably, is creating that atmosphere. So he's got a cheek to turn around and try and say this is on the fans for creating an atmosphere. Him and his team have created the atmosphere that they're struggling in right now. And 100%, he's looking... All he's trying to do is take that long ball so that he can run back to everybody and say, well, that's why we're going to keep playing it out the back. That's all he's doing. Sometimes you have to change your tactics. And just because you lose a goal, it's not that simple to just turn around and say, oh, it's because we kicked a long ball, because the fans were on our back. No, I'm sorry. Sort your team out and get your players getting the fans back on your side. Don't expect them to turn up and just do it for you.
It's always a good idea to go after the fans when you've gone down 2-0 at home, giving up soft goals, and then you blame it on them, on all of them out there in the stands, and not on yourself and the players who are out on the field. How many of those fans that created this quote-unquote environment, how many kicks of the ball did they have on the match? None. Zero. You can never think that it's a good idea to go after your fans, as frustrated as they may be, and whatever environment you think they're created. Robert Sanchez is well within his decision-making as a goalkeeper to say, you know what, I'm tired of playing these short balls here and us losing it in a bad area, so I'm going to put it over there. Mm-hmm. And if we do this properly, it shouldn't be that one header beats our whole midfield and one pass beats all of our back line. Maybe we concentrate on that, not on the environment.
Any whispers about his future, Jules?
Yeah, I believe so. There's a lot of discussions within the club. I mean, this is a club that is not really functioning right now. The toxic atmosphere that we've just described is there. I think there's issues within the club, between the people upstairs, of course, but around Maresca too, within the dressing room, within the players. This is we saw the table. I mean, Chelsea for a long time were third, and yeah, it's a young team, and maybe we didn't expect them to be that high, first of all, but they were there. There was a point where they were even second in the table, just behind Liverpool. And now, the deeper form, as we see again the table here, it's worrying. And if they don't finish in European places, if they don't finish in Champions places, this is not good news for a club that needs money, that already is talking to UEFA to have to pay a fine already for financial fair play, before UEFA actually give them a fine. So there's a few issues at the club, and I think the future of the manager is one of them. They also need stability, and I think everybody at the club knows that. And yeah, Maresca did some good things this season, some not so good things. I think he showed his lack of experience because he's still a very young coach. This is only really his second full season as a first team manager, and you could see that in his communication, some of his decision making, the choices over the starting lineup, all of that. So he shows, but I still think they have to keep him. Otherwise, you start again from scratch, and that's not what they're doing right now.
Right then, Mario, it's Monday, so I've got to ask you this. Will Chelsea finish in the top 5?
I knew you were going to ask me that. They're going to play the last game against Nottingham Forest. That is the only thing. But away from that, I always said they would, but I'm worried now.